Hey everyone, welcome to this YouTube channel Code with Ankit, and from this video we are going to start our fresh JavaScript course, and where I'll teach you JavaScript from the beginning to end. I'll try my best to give you and explain all the topics in the best possible way, and the approach to teach you this course approach to explain the topics is a little bit different from other courses. Like in many courses you may see that there is a ppt presentation, and from that they will explain it. No, I'm not going to just start from that way. I'm just going to take the whole documentation. I will read the documentation. I will explain the topics there. Okay, so from the help of documentation we will see. So the best thing about the documentation is either you start the habit of reading the documentation at first or later, but this like reading documentation habit is one of that habits that you have to get into it. Either you do it earlier or you do it after getting a job, or trying to explore more. So it's one of the best thing, and documentation is the bap of all the things. Okay, so documentation is like father of all the things. All the courses, all the videos will take the reference from the documentation, and from there they explain the topics and do each and everything. So you do not need to buy lakhs of rupees to learn anything if there is the documentation, and you just need a right way. Okay, so by keeping in my mind that okay, you are a beginner, I am a beginner, like I will teach you like that way. So like with me you will learn. Okay, so let's try, and let's just focus on the screen. And yeah, one more important point here is that what is the prerequisite to learn this code? Absolutely nothing. You just have to basic knowledge of HTML and CSS. If you have the basic knowledge of HTML and CSS, you can easily proceed further. Okay, so let's see in the video. So this is like I have opened the web browser. Okay, and make sure you have installed the VS Code editor, and it's super easy to install VS Code editor, and I will show you how do that. But let's start with the JavaScript first. So let's open the documentation. So the very important and very one of who can first, one more question here is who can watch this course? Absolutely beginner, like intermediate, advanced, or anybody who just want to refresh the topics. You can start if you already know. And this is this course is all designed in by keeping in mind that okay, if anyone from beginning he's he's seeking for a good course in JavaScript, then he or she can follow this course absolutely for free. So yeah, if you are a beginner, if you are a 10th class student, 12th class student, or whatever, like anybody, like graduate who want to who want a perfect course for job or to learn the things, so anyone can watch this. Okay, so let's see, and I will try my best to explain all the topics in best possible way. So let's see. So just see from here. Suppose you are a beginner, you don't have lakhs of rupees, how will you learn? So the best way is documentation, and let's see how we are going to see. So here I will just write JavaScript, and one of the famous documentation comes from the Mozilla. So MDN docs, you just write JavaScript MDN docs and click on the first link, developer.mozilla.org. Now one more important thing, this is in the, if you see the background is all black, this is dark theme, and here they are also providing, when you click on the theme here they are also providing the light theme. So do tell me guys if you like the which one theme, like light theme or dark theme. Please write down in the comments, so I will create further videos in that theme. Okay, so now let's start. So when you click there, when you click on the first link here in the Google, so it will land you to the perfect this JavaScript documentation. And let's start here that okay, what we can learn and what are the things. Okay, so let's see. So JavaScript, it is written here. Okay, so here it is already written JavaScript, we can see. Now just see that what's going to happen here. On just a second. Perfect. Now so JavaScript is there. Now just see that JavaScript is a lightweight, interpreted or just in compiled programming language with first class function. Now the important thing here to notice about that, there is too much of jargon words written here, but you don't need to just get deep dive into the knowing the meaning of it, like okay, what is the interpreter, what is the compile, what is the first class function, what is lightweight. No, you don't need to study or read the documentation in that way. You simply you just focus what you are gaining, what you are understanding, and if you don't understanding, if you are not getting any point, just try to skip it from at that level, okay, at the beginning. Later we will discuss, and it will definitely it will come for sure. Okay, so let's see. So JavaScript is a lightweight. So we already know lightweight meaning. So lightweight means it's lightweight. Okay, so when you write any application, it doesn't become heavy, like it's a lightweight application. So when you create any application while using JavaScript, okay, so JavaScript is a lightweight interpreted programming language. Okay, interpreted compiled programming language with first class function. Now see, interpreted means the code that will be executed line by line. Okay, line by line it will be executed. That code that language is known as interpreted language. It will use the interpreter is like just a translator software, you can say, that translate your code into machine executable formats. Okay, like you write the code, so the programmer written code is known as source code. And that code, when it is about to execute in the environment or in the platform or in the OS or whatever you can say, so that code must be interpreted, must be converted from source code, means programmer understandable code, human understandable code, into machine code. So that executable code format, this translation, who is doing this translation? So interpreter is doing that translation. So interpreter is a translator. So that's why JavaScript is a lightweight interpreted compiled programming language with first class function. Now just skip this line, that what do you mean by the first class function? Okay, we'll cover it later. While it is also most well known as the scripting language for web pages, yeah, JavaScript is also well known a scripting language for web pages. Many browser environments also use it, such as Node.js, Apache, Couch, and Acrobat. JavaScript is a prototype based. Now again, here when you learn this prototype based, so this is a whole chapter. Okay, prototype inheritance, this is a whole chapter. This multi-paradigm, like single threading and multi-threading is another chapter that you need to study. So why to study this time? So you do not need to get the whole head over it. Okay, please try to learn, please learn to skip the things. Okay, this is the right way to read the documentation of any programming language. Okay, if you are a beginner, you do not need to just click here and start learning the things. You will stuck over there. So we are not going to just read at this point that what do you mean by prototype, what do you mean by single threaded, what do you mean by the dynamic programming language supporting object oriented. This object oriented is totally object oriented programming is a style that includes many features and many concepts that you need to study. And object oriented style makes the application development very easier. So you just need to understand that okay, there is a perfect time to learn each and everything. So that's why the documentation itself is not giving the explanation about this, because they also want, hey, you as a beginner, you don't need to just start from this Node.js, from this prototype, from this single threaded. No, you don't need to start from there. Okay, so just read this and move forward if you are getting any point. So as of right now, as we have get that JavaScript is a lightweight interpreted compiled programming language, just a simple thing that I have learned. And it is also well known for the scripting language for web pages. It is very famous a scripting language for web pages. So web pages are there. HTML and CSS are used to create beautiful web pages. HTML is used to create the structure of the web pages, and CSS is used to add a styling and add the attractive colors and whatever, like beautiful, make it more attractive, right? But here now the thing is that JavaScript is a prototype based multi-paradigm single threaded language. Here you can see this prototype, this single threaded is almost it's all one chapter, so I have to teach you. So it will be like you will see in the further topics. Okay, now see that okay, this section is dedicated to JavaScript language itself and is not part and not the parts that are specific to web pages or other host environments. For information, APIs like this it is written. Okay, so like this is just saying about this documentation, okay, that this section is dedicated to the JavaScript language itself. Okay, we will see that what is about JavaScript, what the information about JavaScript is given over here. Now the next line is the standards for JavaScript are ECMAScript language specification. Now here like JavaScript is a standardized, okay, and the standard for JavaScript are ECMAScript language specification. Now what do you mean by this ECMA? ECMA means European Computer Manufacturer Associations. Okay, see, so who is controlling the JavaScript? Who is controlling the versions of JavaScript? Who is giving the new features in JavaScript? So this ECMAScript is giving the new features in JavaScript. Suppose tomorrow next JavaScript 2022 version is coming, like just suppose for tomorrow there is date to launch the new JavaScript. So new JavaScript in 2022 will have some amazing features, of course. So who are launching that features? JavaScript? No, not the JavaScript directly. The ECMAScript is the standard. Okay, ECMA, European Computer Manufacturer Association. See, ECMA, this is the website, ECMA International. So this is our organization. This is one organization who standardized some like programming languages and many technology things. Okay, so here like JavaScript is standardized by the ECMA and they give the name as ECMAScript. Okay, they give the name as ECMAScript. So the features that you are like the work, the activity that you are doing through the JavaScript is due to the ECMAScript. So the official name for this programming language will become ECMAScript, right? So JavaScript, like, and why this specification is there? What do you mean by this specification? A specification means just suppose that ECMA is organization and they gives the specification. A specification means they are giving some rules and guidelines and some features. Okay, suppose tomorrow you are like you are very excited and you thought that, okay, I want to create my own JavaScript language. I want to create my own scripting language that will run on every browser. Now there is a there is a proper specification that you have to study. So if you want to create one application, like if you want to create one a scripting language that will run on every browser and will behave as JavaScript, will behave similarly to JavaScript, then you need to read this specification, this ECMA specification. See, numbers, fundamental, object, text. You need to read this, and whatever rules and regulations and guidelines are there, you need to apply in your language that you are writing. You want to create one more programming language, then there you need to read this documentation, you need to read this ECMAScript, and then you can launch your own. Okay, why? Because just suppose look, JavaScript or this ECMAScript runs on the browser. Yes, it is running on the browser. Now browser will have the JavaScript engines. Now JavaScript engines will have like your browser is simply acting like interpreter. Because suppose you are opening any website, you are just creating, like you are just opening any website on the web browser, and it is like behaving good. It is showing you some complex animations, like it is 2D 3D animations or graphics you are seeing on the website. Then how? This is because JavaScript. Okay, somewhere JavaScript is evolved, like included there. So JavaScript, if JavaScript is there, then JavaScript code must run on the web browser. So your web browser is acting like interpreter. Okay, interpreter will execute the code line by line, and it will convert it in the execution format, and then it will execute the code one by one line. Okay, one line, second line, third line, 4 line, 5 line, like this, right? So suppose you created, so there are many web browsers. First of all, Brendan Eich was the person who invented the JavaScript, right? Brendan Eich was known as the father of JavaScript. So just see that Brendan Eich was working for Netscape Navigator. So Netscape Navigator, if you just see Netscape Navigator, okay, when you see this Netscape Navigator, it was a web browser. It was a very famous web browser. Okay, in 1995 or 1996, the time was there. Okay, 1995 or 1996 here. Netscape Navigator was proprietary web browser. It was very famous at that time, and the person Brendan Eich was working for this Netscape Navigator, and to add some dynamic behavior, to create the some logic, like to create some activity in the website, to add some dynamic behavior in the website. Brendan Eich, that person, invented the JavaScript, and he was working for this Netscape Navigator in 1995, I think. Yeah, I'm not I'm not interested in too much history, so that's why maybe you can find the year, which year was, but I'm sure about it's like 1994, 1995, or like 1996, like something like that. 1995 is so that time Brendan Eich invented. Now by seeing this, now how your JavaScript will show the behaviors, because you should, like, first of all, browser should have the ability to run that code. Yes, if browser have not the ability to run the code of JavaScript, then whatever you write through the JavaScript in your website, will it gonna do any effect on the website if any customer or consumer is opening? No. So first of all, your browser should understand the JavaScript. So for them, they have to create some another JavaScript engines, JavaScript environment they have to create for that browser. So Netscape Navigator, that browser, for that browser, Brendan Eich wrote that. Now if Brendan Eich wrote that, now it is working, now JavaScript code is working good. The first name of the JavaScript was Mocha, Mocha, then it turns to LiveScript, and then finally turns to the JavaScript. Now see here what's the story was there. So at that time, when he wrote, now he wrote for the Netscape Navigator, it is working fine. Now Microsoft company, yes, they invented that, like they have their browser, Internet Explorer. Now if, like, they thought, okay, why should I use that JavaScript? No, I will not. I will create my own JavaScript scripting language. So they created their own and called it JScript. Okay, when you see it, JScript, okay, JScript, okay, not to be confused with JavaScript. See, JScript is Microsoft legacy. You can see it, dialect of ECMAScript standard. So they created the JScript at that time. They create JScript. Who create? Microsoft create JScript. And Netscape Navigator, the Brendan Eich person, okay, the Brendan Eich created the JavaScript. Now see, JScript they created. Now just see, there are multiple, understand here, there are multiple web browsers in the market, and there are multiple tech companies who are running that web browser. Netscape Navigator, Opera Mini, like Google Chrome, and whatever. There are multiple web browser. And suppose tomorrow I want to launch my tech company and I want to launch my own web browser. Then okay, finally, let's say, okay, I launched Ankit browser, a browser. Okay, you launch your own browser, Rahul browser, Subham browser, Amit browser. Okay, now just see, if you think to launch that, now you need to create that JavaScript engine. You need to create a scripting language for you. Are you ready to create one scripting language for your web browser, so that the JavaScript code can run on your web browser as well? So if you are ready, then see what's the problem there. So suppose each and every web browser have the different scripting languages. Okay, so now if I want to, suppose you are the developer of a tech company, you are the founder of the tech company, and you decided to launch one browser, and suppose Subham has launched. So Subham launched Subham browser, S browser, let's say S browser, and Subham JavaScript. Subham launched his own scripting language, script, Subham script. Now Subham script code can be run on Subham script code can run on the Subham web browser very perfectly. Okay, because the engine is there, like he created the things, and he created the interpreter, all of the things there. Now what if I want to become a businessman, I want to become an entrepreneur, and if I want to create any website, okay, so if I create, and I personally use, suppose Netscape Navigator. So if I code accordingly, if I choose to code in JavaScript, now my code will work on Netscape Navigator better, but not on the Shubham browser. So if S browser, that Shubham browser will get million of downloads, then million of customer. As a business person, I will be at loss. So my website cannot be open on the millions of the customer properly. It will not run properly. So it will create mess in the entire world. If suppose tomorrow or today many more companies are there, so it is better to standardize that. Okay, so their whole the Netscape Navigator team take the JavaScript to the ECMA. ECMA was the internet a European Computer Manufacturer Association. They are the association. They standardized the things, and accordingly all will implement that. So ECMA at that time, ECMA, that association, that organization, that they standardized that JavaScript. Okay, and they write some specification, some rules and guidelines, some rules and regulations. Okay, if you want to create any scripting language that should run on the entire browser, okay, then you have to follow at least these features. At least these features you need to study that whole documentation, and accordingly you can create that. So this is the main important point there. Okay, like in today's world, if you see in the probably iPhone 15, you can see it's better chance that you can see type C. Why type C? Why all the world is moving towards type C? Okay, like type C is very easy, like it's very convenient nowadays. Everyone is using type C. Type C is fast, type C is good. So European Union thought that okay, type C should be standardized. So they are standardizing it globally, that all the computer, all the electronic devices, all the smartphones will have now type C. Okay, because it like having type C is very a good thing, because if everyone is doing the type C, like Apple will not create the lightning port. Now carbon emission and too much pollution will be like a little bit deprecated, like whatever the electronic pollution they will might have been like. Are you getting my point now? Yeah. So just see, this is the process of standardization. Why something or someone will standardize something? Just because to save the environment, just because to save these things, right? So ECMAScript, like they launched the specification and they name it as ECMAScript, because JavaScript, that trademark was in the hand of Oracle. Okay, that trademark was already like not available, so they name it as ECMAScript. Okay, if you just see R means registered, so this is the registered trademark, ECMAScript registered trademark. Okay, so this is the thing. So the standard for JavaScript are this ECMAScript language specification. This ECMAScript, you just get that point. This ECMAScript language specification, if everything like whatever you are doing today in the JavaScript, that is due to ECMAScript. If tomorrow JavaScript will have some features, ECMAScript will launch that feature and JavaScript will implement that. The developers of JavaScript will write that, and there you can easily take the benefit of that. So that way this ECMAScript is working. Okay, so ECMA 262, this is just a version name for that ECMA when it was coming earlier. Okay, and the ECMAScript internationalization API, ECMA 402 is the another version. As soon as one browser implements a feature, we try to document it. So it's about this documentation, that when any browser is implementing any more feature, so this documentation, this website that we are studying here. Okay, so this website try to document it. This means that cases where proposals for new ECMAScript features have already been implemented in the browsers study here. Documentation and examples in MDN articles may use some of those new features. So if some feature is launching, if some browser is implementing it already, so this MD and this Mozilla team, they are like giving you the documentation, giving you some articles over here, and you can study from there, you can learn from there. Okay, most of the time this happens between the stage 3 and 4, and is usually before the spec of officially published. Now just see, do not confuse JavaScript with Java programming language. Yes, JavaScript is another programming language, Java is another programming language. Okay, but both Java, understand, both Java and JavaScript are trademarks or registered trademarks of Oracle company. Oracle company is there, so Oracle Corporation have that trademark. Trademark means the logo, the name. Okay, so the owner of that trademark, the name and the logo of Java and JavaScript are the trademarks or registered trademarks of Oracle company. Oracle company is owning the Java these days. Okay, and JavaScript trademark, only the trademark. Okay, the trademark is in the hand of Oracle. That is the in the US. Okay, so however, the two programming language have different, like very different syntax and very semantics and use. Okay, so JavaScript is totally different from the Java, so don't get confused. Okay, so this is the thing. Now let's move forward. Okay, so looking to become a front-end developer, we have put together a course that includes all essential information you need to work towards your goal. Okay, if suppose I want to become a front-end developer, it is saying, okay, just click on this, get started. Okay, and it starts from the HTML things. Okay, so as I said, that was the prerequisites to learn this course. HTML and bit of CSS, little bit HTML, little bit CSS. Will have some we'll add amazing things, okay, in your learning. So now just move backward here where we were. Okay, now let's study the tutorials. Learn how to program in JavaScript with guides and tutorials. Perfect. For complete beginners, head over to learning JavaScript topic. If you want to learn JavaScript but have no previous experience with JavaScript or programming, then JavaScript first steps. Answer some fundamental questions such as what is JavaScript? So what is JavaScript? What does it look like? And what can it do? We can find these all answers in this section of JavaScript first steps. Okay, now JavaScript building blocks. Continues our coverage of JavaScript key fundamentals, turning our attention to commonly encountered types of code blocks such as conditional statements, loops, functions, and events. See here, introducing a JavaScript object. The object-oriented nature of JavaScript is very important to understand if you want to go further with your knowledge of the language and write more efficient code. Therefore, we have provided this module to help you. So if you want to understand the object-oriented nature of JavaScript, in this section we will study, but we have to go one by one. So like that, we have multiple things. See, we will study one by one. We will definitely study one by one. Okay, so let's start. So here it is already written that, okay, head over to our learning JavaScript area. So when I click this, so like now see here, from here it is starting. Okay, so JavaScript dynamic client side scripting. So JavaScript is a programming language. Let's see, this is the sidebar and this is our content area. Okay, so JavaScript programming, from here let's start. JavaScript is a programming language that allows you to implement complex things on web pages. JavaScript is that programming language which will help you to implement some complex things in your website, in your web pages. Okay, every time, study here, every time a web page does more than just it. So you open any website and you see, oh, only some text is there, only some video is there, only some picture is there, only some image is there, and you just see that, okay, it is a static information, but behind the scenes it's not like that. Okay, just see, it does more than, every time a web page does more than just sit there and display static information. It does more things rather than only displaying the static information, and it can displaying a timely content updates. You see maps are there in some website, you see some amazing graphics and animations, scrolling videos are there, jukeboxes or more. You can bet that JavaScript is probably involved. Yeah, you can bet that JavaScript is probably involved somewhere, somehow in that website, if you are seeing these things. Right, so JavaScript, you can use the JavaScript in as a client side. See, dynamic client side. Client side means which like that website like client side website. So client side website means that website which is opening on like client side, that part of the website that is opening on the client side. Client side means the consumer side. The client is who is using, right? Who is using. So suppose if I'm opening any website, it means I'm client, and my client, how can I client? So my client, like the client is represented by the browser. Okay, so browser, your web browser is your client. Okay, so it's like that. Okay, so if web browser is like giving you some static information or some like interactive maps, animated 2D 3D graphics, scrolling videos on that website, then that is client. Okay, for your web browser, Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, like Edge, Brave browser, Opera, okay, Safari, these are the client. This will known as client. Okay, simply. Okay, so JavaScript is involved in any what web page or any website is there. So just here it is written that okay, like JavaScript is used to implement some interactive maps, animated 2D as client side. Okay, scrolling videos, things, jukeboxes, and whatever. Fine. So looking to become a front-end developer, web developer, again the same thing is there. Okay, so prerequisites. JavaScript is arguably more difficult to learn than related technologies such as HTML and CSS. Just see here that JavaScript is arguably more difficult to learn. A little bit different, but yeah, it's not too much different. If you study regularly, you can easily understand it. So JavaScript, here it is also written that okay, if you before attempting to learn JavaScript, you are strongly advised to get familiar with C. You are strongly advised. It is giving you the strong recommendation to at least have the basic knowledge of HTML and CSS. You can just see technology first and C with at least these two. These two means HTML and CSS technology first, and perhaps others as well. Maybe if they're okay. So I start by working through the following modules. So first read this module, read this one, and then read this one, and then read the then study and then try to learn the JavaScript. And if you already learn this, then just it's fine. You can follow my course. You can follow this course. Okay. Now having previous experience with other program might also help. Okay, but I am thinking that okay, you do not have, so that's okay. That's simply okay. That's not a problem. Okay, after getting familiar with the basics of JavaScript, you should be in a position to learn about more advanced topics. For example, JavaScript in depth. So when you learn the basics of JavaScript, then you should be in a position to understand that tough things of JavaScript also, the one level up things also. Okay, so module. Here when you see modules, our policy on modern JavaScript is an actively evolving language that has changed greatly over the years. Of course it has changed greatly over the years, and in particular the 6th edition of the language, what the success moment for the JavaScript. When this 6th edition came, like the sometimes known as ECMAScript 2015 in 2015, like ECMAScript 2015 or ES6, at that time when it launched, JavaScript was booming. JavaScript came with amazing features. From that time, this was the changing moment. This was the winning moment of JavaScript in the world, in the technology world. Yes, from there JavaScript gained a lot of popularity, and you can see in today's world JavaScript developers are getting high salaries, getting amazing things. They are building amazing projects. Many big companies are using JavaScript. Okay, so that's the important point. So that was the changing point. That was the changing version. That was JavaScript gone a superhero in the market in that day. Okay, like when ECMAScript launched ES6, ECMAScript 6 launched, introduced in 2015, added many new features. See, and at the same time, to maintain backward compatibility with older websites, old features of the language have been retained even when they are no longer considered good practice. It is saying at that time when ECMAScript 2015 or ES6, this was the again version name, ES6, ECMAScript 6. So it is same. Okay. So if at that time when it launched, it doesn't kill the older website. Suppose if the new things are coming, so it doesn't mean that okay, the older website that has created based upon the older than 2015 version, it will kill all the code and it will not run. No, it is not like that. It is made to be to keep in by keeping in this consideration that okay, many people is using the older version, so older version code will also work. Okay, although it's not a good practice now to go much older. Okay, like 15 or like 10 12 year back. No, there are too much of good things came. Okay, so you can practice the ES6 ES7 nowadays. See, we think that features added to JavaScript in ECMAScript 2015 and subsequent versions enable developers to write more readable. So when ECMAScript launched, okay, it added like ECMAScript 2015. This ES6 came. ES6 means this ECMAScript 2015 version. Okay, not a like different thing. ES6 or ECMAScript 2015 is the same thing. Okay, and subsequent version enable developers to write more. The code becomes more readable. Readable means it is easy to read. It's more become reliable. Okay, it's more become expressive. The code gets more expressive, more understandable. Okay, if I write code and you study it, you read it, you can easily get to know that what's going there, and that important to learn about them, and that it is important to learn about them. Okay, the feature we teach in this course are stable and have been supported by all major browsers for several years. That things we are going to learn code if we follow this documentation. Fine, let's move forward then. And from the JavaScript first step, the topics containing following modules in a suggested order for working through them. From here we will study, right, JavaScript first steps. First of all, we will study this section, then this section, and then we will gradually just keep moving further. Okay, so JavaScript first steps we will study. When we click here, it will get me to JavaScript first step, and from there we will read the things. Okay, definitely. So that's it for this video. I will see you in the next video. And write down in the comment that which theme you like the most. Okay, the dark one or the light ones. Make sure if you guys show the more number of engagement in the comments section about the dark theme or light theme, I will go for that one. Okay, and just tell me like, do you understand, like like are you getting the point that I am explaining you? Okay, and fine, and so support by sharing this course. Just so support by subscribing if you are new to the channel, and if you haven't subscribed, and just so support by liking it and by sharing, by commenting. So just thank you so much. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, take care.